Hey guys, it's the Keto King here, and today we are going to be making a low-carb lasagna with eggplant. Now this recipe tastes amazing, makes a ton of food which is fantastic for your keto meal prep, and you won't even believe it is lasagna free. The ingredients you'll need to make this low-carb lasagna with eggplant is, of course, some eggplants, salt, pepper, onion, tomato paste, some ground meat of your choice, cheese, some Parmesan cheese, some ricotta, eggs, olive oil, ground cumin. I'm using a blend of Italiano spices, but really any blend of herbs or herb spices would work perfect. Garlic, some paprika, and that's it. Right, let's get to this amazing keto recipe. And a big thank you to my sister-in-law at Susie Q. She's the one who gave me the idea for this keto recipe. So this one goes out to you, Susie Q. Okay, so we're gonna grab yourself 2 medium-sized eggplants. Now these aren't the nicest ones, but this is the only one I could find in the store at the moment. So grab them, cut off the ends. And then we're gonna cut these into roughly 1/4 inch thick slices. And they should end up looking a little something like this. In South Africa, where I was born and grew up, these are called brinjals, not eggplants. Let me know in the comment section where you're from and if they call them brinjals or eggplants in your country. Then what you want to do is grab yourself some paper towel, put down your eggplant in rows. Then we're going to grab some salt and we're going to lightly sprinkle all of these eggplants with this salt, and then we're going to let these sit here for 15 minutes. You're then going to have to flip over the eggplant and repeat the same salting the other side of the eggplant. Now what the salt is going to do is draw out the water from the eggplant and dehydrate it somewhat. So we're going to leave this for 15 minutes to do its work. And after just a minute or two, you can already see all the water that's coming out of the eggplant here. Right, so grab yourself a fairly large pan or pot, give it a coating of olive oil on the bottom. Now you're going to add in half a medium-sized onion diced up finely. You want to just get a bit of color on your onions. Now it hasn't even been 15 minutes yet and you can see this paper towel is soaked. So what I do during this 15 minutes is get a fresh sheet of paper towel out, take the eggplant, flip it over, and let it sit on here for the remainder of the 15 minutes. And now that the onions has a really nice color to it, what we're going to do is add our ground meat. Now I'm going to be adding just over 1 kg of ground meat. At this point you can probably turn your heat down to a medium heat. Alright, and while your ground meat is still browning up here, you can grab yourself another frying pan, give it a coating of olive oil, heat it up over a medium-high heat until it's hot, and then you're going to add your brinjals. Now you're going to add your eggplant slices. Just be careful and put them in the pan away from yourself like that so the oil doesn't splash up on yourself. You're going to be frying these for 2 to 3 minutes aside. So here's a word of warning. If your plate is not hot enough, what you can see is the eggplant actually soaks up the oil, which is not what you want. You want it to get a fry. So make sure that the pan and the oil is hot enough before you actually put in your eggplant. And then after 2 to 3 minutes, you want to flip your eggplant. And you can see it's got a wonderful, nice golden color on top. And just do that for all of them. And fry it for another 2 to 3 minutes. And after that 2 to 3 minutes, you want to take them out, put them on a plate that's lined with paper towel. So with each time you do your next batch, you don't want to put too much olive oil, because as you saw there, it did soak up some of the olive oil. So just a really light coating of the olive oil, then putting in the eggplant and doing the 2 to 3 minutes should give you a great result. Alright, and while the keto queen is busy frying up the eggplant in the pan there, and this is nicely browned now, we're going to add some spices to it. So as I said, firstly I'm using an Italiano spice. You can use any type of herb here. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of this spice, 1 tablespoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then lastly 1 tablespoon of ground cumin. Give that all a good mix and incorporate those wonderful spices. Then we're going to be adding in some tomato paste. I'm going to add in 156 milliliters, which happens to be the size of this tin here. And then finally we're going to add 1 whole pepper chopped up. This works out to roughly 150 grams. And how good is this looking? Next I added 150 grams, which was 2 small Roma tomatoes, to this mixture. I cut it up nice and fine. Once again, give that a good stir. And then leave it on the heat to simmer. And once all your eggplant is done, it looks a little something like this. And we've still got our ground meat here simmering nicely. You're getting all those juices out of the tomato and the peppers, and everything is just coming together nicely. Then you want to grab yourself a big mixing bowl and adding in 750 grams of ricotta. And then you're going to be cracking in 2 eggs. Then make sure to fully mix these 2 ingredients. Okay, and now would be a good time to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and now the fun part begins. We've got our ground meat nicely done up. We have the eggplant, which we fried in the pan. And then we have the ricotta mixed with the egg. We're going to put these all together. So you're going to need to grab yourself a really large glass oven-proof dish. Now this one is 9 1/4 inch by 13 1/4 inch, or 23.5 centimeters by 33 3/4 of a centimeter. Now absolutely no math needed here. All you're going to do is just divide each of your ingredients in half and put them in your oven-proof bowl. So we're going to add firstly half the ground meat that we made. Spread it out nice and thinly across your dish. You can put a little bit more than half at the bottom, just to make sure you cover the entire base for that bottom layer. Then you're going to grab your fried eggplant, and then you're going to do a layer of the eggplant. And then take your egg and ricotta mix and do a layer of that. Okay, and there's our first complete set of layers. Then we're just going to repeat the exact same process in the same order. Mince, eggplant, and ricotta. Okay, and this is what the final product looks like. Man, this looks good. Then we're going to be adding 250 grams of grated cheese. Now you can use more or less of this cheese, really it's up to you. And then for a final touch, we're just going to sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on top. No quantities here, just grab your fingers, give it a nice sprinkle on top. Use as much or as little as you like. Alright, and this is what it's looking like going inside. You can see these lovely layers of ground meat, ground meat, eggplant, ricotta, ground meat, eggplant, and ricotta. And obviously all the wonderful cheese on top. Then you're going to be popping this in your preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes. Look how good that looks. You've got that wonderful brown color on the outside. This looks ready to me. And we're just gonna pop this on a cooling rack and let it cool down a bit. And you end up with a low-carb lasagna with eggplant like this. look how wonderful this is. The top is nice and firm. This edge is a real crispy edge. Even in the middle, it's soft, but it's still got a firm enough appearance that it's not liquid and gonna move around. So it's really come out fantastic. And just look at this, guys. I've cut this into 12 pieces here. You can definitely make them smaller. And this is 2 servings here for the wife and I. And look how much is left. This is perfect for your keto prep and for leftovers, taking it for lunch the next day, and for future dinners in the week. This one is a winner for keto meal prep.